Asian, and with all these other, because they don't really make up the majority. But it would be nice to see that. It's not that bad. Like we could see that, but to see BLK women and all those like Asian or whatever, that would be good. But yeah, I do. What was I going to say? Yeah, I do encourage that, and to see that, I love that. I love to see that, and by that I mean with the VOK women and the YT, because from this prompt, this pink prompt, where it says like how race loyal they've been, it's just, if that's a conditioning that's been going on, good. Let
See,
them.
I
I
don't.
want that to
My,
encourage. I want that to encourage like an openness, like for VOK women to have a more open mind to going outside.
right,
See, if they were doing it in a healthy way, then I would be in complete agreement with you, Abby. But for me, when I watch the dynamics like on screen, when it's like a YT character with a BLK woman, it's always the BLK woman has been like disregarded at some point. There's always a kind of
yes.
like the YT man is trying to convince himself like he has other like interested women, and he figures out, he has an epiphany that, oh, maybe the BLK, sorry, the BLK woman is better. You know what I mean?
Yes.
It's never this kind of like pursuit from the beginning, like the value from the beginning. It's always a sense of figuring it out or even settling,
Especially
unfortunately.
especially
I don't like
Shonda,
I don't
especially
like that
Wait,
Shonda
wait,
Rhimes
representation.
show.
wait, what? Could you repeat that 1 second?
I'm saying when it comes to YT men or not just non like BLK men,
Oh yeah, no, okay. I was just
yeah,
making sure. No, because my husband, I know a few white T dudes that just like BLK women in the South, like Texas. There's quite a few that I've always liked because of
babe,
proximity.
I'm
But
talking about on screen, like on screen
oh, on
representation.
screen. Okay.
Yeah. So it's always a case where this BLK woman, she's kind of meek, she's shy, she's awkward, then she maybe finds herself, then he sees her value. Or maybe she's kind of like a best friend and she's like obsessed with this guy, but he doesn't really know. And then after he's dated like 20 women, he's like, oh, I actually like her. Do you know what I mean? It's never a pursuit from the beginning. Never.
So
No,
yeah,
The only one
I
I can say is
agree
that
because I felt trapped to that with my ex that I was with for like a decade. It's because I always saw us chasing a dude, so that's what I did in
yeah,
comparison.
I
exactly.
think okay, so I will agree with that, because I was just like in my women's studies class, we went over the misrepresentation of women of color. And yeah, it's, you don't really find that. But yeah, I agree with you in like there should be like a healthy way of encouraging it, so that because I don't know. Yeah, there we were going over how the representation of LK women has mostly been depended on the stereotypes and yeah, all that. And so if they could create more shows and movies that could have like more original stories, then yeah, it would be much better. But
Yeah,
fortunately, we don't really see that.
Issa Rae came out with a movie maybe just like maybe 2 years ago, but it was her. I don't even know this Indian actor's name, but he's really popular right now in a bunch of different things. But it was on Netflix. But just to even see a black woman with an Indian man, a BOK woman with an Indian man, that was like, I was like, yo, that's so refreshing, and it was a beautiful couple. But like you said, the I don't know what your name is, but the heart at the top with the pink hair, like you were
Blackheart.
just heart, black heart,
Yeah, Blackheart.
black heart. Yeah. So like black heart was just saying, yeah, it's a lot of times these in media, it's like the black women are still subservient to the white T men in some kind of way. And I'm just going off the top of my head. So I'm thinking about shows like Scandal, which where Kerry Washington was the mistress. She was the side piece, and like she was always put to the side and like all these things. Then we're thinking about like How to Get Away with Murder. And like I specifically said Shonda Rhimes shows because she portrays that a lot. But also it's
Yeah.
just a very popular narrative these days, right?
Yeah, so okay, here's what I'm gonna say about that. I like that you brought up Scandal, and Scandal is just I literally I wrote an essay. Bo, remember that day? Like, I think it was recently I stayed up like till like 4 a.m. And turned in my essay so late. I got an A on it, by the way.
Oh,
But
nice.
it was
Congrats.
literally on that, and I was going over how that show Scandal. And I think I'm gonna just say word for word what I was saying. That show Scandal by Shonda Rhimes. It like it's like a double-edged sword that manages to both challenge and reinforce the stereotypes of BOK women, of being like this kind of like a temptress, because she's like, sure, she's very desirable by these men. You have this guy, I don't know what his name, but I do know Fitz the president. You have these guys being desiring her, but she's a mistress basically. So I don't think Scandal was was a positive kind for to represent. I think it was a misrepresentation of BOK women, and also like a bad one, a negative representation, because we're not temptresses. We're not in illegitimate. We're legit. We can be legitimate partners, not just mistresses and side pieces.
That's my only problem when our men date outside of us, because if you accomplish your life goal and getting a foreign, stop speaking on me. Don't speak down on me. Don't bring me up in any conversation. You're living how you want to live. Why am I still living rent free in your head? Like, you don't have to talk bad about me because you want to go elsewhere. Stay there.
Right. And so on that note, yeah, I would just say that for Shonda Rhimes to have like she was the creator. To when at first I liked what I was seeing, but then when I analyzed it and then just really saw the position that she was in, like the kind of relationship status between these guys, it was just disappointing. It was disappointing, really. So
Yeah.
And I think that's why what's the movie called again? A Bronx Tale. That's why A Bronx Tale did so well, because it was never like there was never representation of like a man pursuing a BLK woman just because she's not being like seductive. He's just recognizing her beauty, and that's it. It's not in this kind of like perverse way where I feel like oftentimes when it comes to BLK women, it's not that men aren't like attracted to us. I think when it comes to like, and on the sexual side, definitely, because they view us in this kind of perverse way, but it's the romantic side that they don't have an attraction for BLK women. Does that make sense? And I feel like that's why the Bronx Tale did so well, is because it just kind of shifted that type of dynamic. But other than that, I can't think of any other one, guys. I'm sorry. I really
yeah,
can't.
I've heard an example of that movie. I never once saw it. I want to see it, but it's just that I remember seeing some comments of how the guy's family didn't really like it, and like I was like, oh, I don't really want to
Yeah,
see the
yeah.
family not like. But at the end, if okay, so I just want you to briefly spoil it just a little bit. Do they accept her at the end or no?
I don't think it was necessarily the family not accepting her or being accepting of her. It was more the sense of like the time period, because I'm pretty sure it's set in the 80s. If
Oh,
I'm,
okay. Well, then
yeah.
that's understandable if
So
it's in the
he's
80s.
kind
See,
of, so
my
he's
thing
kind of
with
thinking to
like those
himself,
men is they're normally Muslim and a lot of them are misogynist.
no, it
So
wasn't
I
even
don't
that.
really,
It was
I
more of a
don't
case
like
of
that
like
idea.
he's thinking, how is this going to work like outside? And then his uncle comes to him and it's like, if that's the girl you want, F what everybody else thinks, literally. And then he's like, that's the girl I want.
Yeah, I would understand because apparently I think he was Italian, and most
Yeah.
Italians are they're Jays, and so they mostly go for people that are J as well. They date people that are J. So I would completely understand if that was the case. But hold on, I really wanted to address this comment that says "Be okay with love." Stories are about struggle, and interracial ones are about love. I don't know. I feel like those stories they kind of they're they're kind of realistic because being with an LK man, it's kind of you will kind of struggle. I don't know how to describe it. My mind, I don't know why it's not coming to me right now. Wait, you guys talk and
Hey
it'll come
guys,
to me.
we need to let Carlito go.
Yeah, Carlito, go.
Hello, can you give your thoughts on the prompt?
Oh, hello. Can you hear me? Can you all hear me?
Yes, sir.
Oh, okay. Great, great, great. Yeah, I was just listening to all of you all. I mean, all of you all had some really good personal views that is well respected. And it was very appreciative to hear you all's views because not everyone has, but then there are certain views that could be considered biased in a sense based on how how you were raised in the area and the culture. So I read the prompt and I don't see anything wrong, with, interracial dating. I grew up in Puerto Rico. My mother is a European looking Puerto Rican with the black hair. You know, my father who passed away, he was darker than me. I saw different shades growing up. When I came to the States in the early 90s, now because of the type of mentality that based on historical, things that have happened in the past that have led to a specific emotional and mental mentality that a lot of us have towards each other. I was not aware of that as a teenager because I was brought up at that time in the 80s in a whole different culture and a different view of things. And, there was prejudice and colorism in Puerto Rico that does exist. But it wasn't as prominent, to see, it was common to see different shades dating each other. And so here it was in moving to the DC area, in North Virginia, so the DMV area, you didn't really, it was really set. Like if you were this specific, if you were BLK, if you were white T, you will see them, pretty much in each group, with the same ideology. It was very odd, but I remember, in middle school, I, was, talking to a white T girl. She lived in my neighborhood. She was real cool. We played basketball together. And, so we ended up, liking each other a little bit, and her, because of the shade of my skin, her family was not as welcoming. Now, my father, he, just like me, saw the different shades, different colors of the the rainbow in each person. So it wasn't until as time went on, staying here through the 90s, going into the 2000s, now, due to your environment and survival, you almost adapt to even its own concept at times. At least for myself, I can speak for that is kind of what happened, where then I started educating myself on history, which was ugly. Started learning different things. And at one point in time, it got me bared away from, dating white tea women or, Asian women, or I don't know, you can say that on there, but, but but after thinking back of the roots of how I was brought up, there's no way that that if you're educated on, or at least research and figure out why we have different shades of the world. And then we can look past beyond the flesh. We can look past beyond that, and we can look and get involved in the spirit. I used to, date certain, women that were a certain particular look and realize that they might have had all the necessity things that we as men would want. But there was just one little thing that in the same way with women, with men, it goes both ways. And I feel like we have to look beyond the flesh and just really get involved in the spirit. And of course that takes time and patience. But I digress with that. Oh, and one more thing. Sometimes Mark and Carlos can also hurt you too. Sometimes.
Yeah, I agree with most of what you said, but honestly, this is not gonna sound great, but I can't see myself being in a committed relationship with someone who isn't BLK because I feel like there's certain things that I'd have to navigate. I just don't want to do it, guys. Sorry.
What do you
Wait,
think
let me
you have
land.
to
Let me
navigate?
land. Like I just wouldn't want to. I just wouldn't want to do it. Like I feel like there's a difference between like sharing and like your partner learning about your culture, right? Because I'm Nigerian, right? I can definitely teach someone about like Nigerian culture. That's fine. But I'll be damned if I'm sitting around with some fella teaching him about my identity as a person. To me, that's crazy. And that's something I'm never going to do. I don't have the time I don't even have the patience. I don't have the patience, guys. So I feel
Wait,
like, I wouldn't be able to do it. I'm so sorry.
hold on. So when you say you don't want to teach them, like what specific things are you talking about?
When
'Cause,
it
like
comes to like my experience as a BLK person, right? When it comes to our hair, like it's actually when you start talking to a lot of YT people or non-black people or non-BLK people in general, like the amount that they don't know, like is actually concerning. Like I remember being in a situation where I was the only person of color in that space. And the questions they would ask, it's like you're constantly on this journey of explaining your identity and how, in my personal opinion, love has to do like it's a knowing. You have to know that person. And I don't think they can get there. I'm
The thing
sorry.
is, with that, I think that even though they might not know that much about you, you might not know that much about them, right? And whatever cultural experiences like they had growing up. And so for me, I think it's like I think it's beautiful in learning each other, and the whole process just makes you it makes you stronger together, or it brings you
No, because
closer. That's how I would say it.
I feel like when you're a BLK person in a westernized world, you're going to know about them. It's like, yeah, we do know about them, right? But it's like they just don't know about me, and I don't have the
Yo, my
time to be
name's
educated.
Mark.
I'm
I'm
not.
trying to give someone the world.
Wait, what did you say?
Brendan, you were
I
supposed
said,
to
yo,
wait
my
for
name's
your
Mark. I'm trying to give
turn.
someone the world. What's up?
Okay, go ahead and read the prompt and then share
Or
your
get on Tinder.
I already did read the prompt. My name's Mark. I'm trying to give someone the world. What's up, Shotty?
Yeah, you said that already.
Yeah, can you
I
read
hope you all can tell that's just a troll right now.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he is
no, we
trolling.
I'm
do.
not
Yeah,
a
we
troll. I'm
can.
a human being with feelings, dude.
Okay.
You can tell you're trolling.
Me,
No, you guys should
I
have
date
given
Puerto
him.
Ricans, but I don't consider that dating outside because they're black to me. Dominicans and Puerto Ricans are still black to me.
Definitely black. We definitely black. Tú sabes. Pero te lo podemos tirarlo en español también. We can throw it to you in Spanish too. But we black.
But they're more of like they have a better family dynamic. They are nicer, and I feel like that's a win-win. They're not.
No, there's definitely some Afro Latinos, so that's fine. But yeah.
I invited him back up. If you can you go ahead and read the whole prompt and then state your opinion. If you cannot do that, I will be forced to drop you.
I already read it, but yeah,
I'm
I'm
saying
down
out
with that.
loud. I'm saying out loud.
Why do I have to? Maybe I'm insecure about reading out loud.
Okay, then go ahead and state your opinion based on it.
Bro.
Yeah, let's not even entertain him, please.
No, it's okay. If he
Exactly.
genuinely wants to, then go ahead.
No, he's trolling.
No, I want to give my opinion.
Okay,
Give your
go ahead.
opinion.
Okay. Okay.
If any of you single black ladies are out there looking for a Mark, hit me.
I don't know why you brought him back up, Abby.
I wanted
Yeah.
to give him a chance to if he was genuine, but I guess not. So go ahead,
Bro, he
Laps.
thinks that this is Tinder. All right. He's trying to find a woman. He sounds like he's a nice guy. You know, like,
No, he sounded like a goofy one, but I wanted to hear what he had to say. Go ahead, Laughs. Oopsie.
Yeah, I'd say you sound jealous every time you complain about her. That man, you know, he girl. I don't think she really sounds jealous. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's nothing to offer on the other side. You know what I'm saying? Once you start leaving your people, you start acting different. All your money goes somewhere else. You know what I'm saying? And it's like if they dealing with the BLK man that's not really like stand up, and then they start seeing all the good ones they be going outside, it's like you need to be home. Like, who raised you? You know what I'm saying? Like, who raised you to leave from out your mama house, daddy house, grandma house, and then go get your money and take it to another